The Grand Chamber was quiet. Too quiet. Ambassador Marcus Webb walked through the tall gates, and his shoes made echoing sounds on the crystal floor. This room had seen 10,000 different alien species come here to beg for their lives. Now it was Earth's turn. Marcus looked up. 47 aliens sat in their seats, ready to judge humanity. Some looked like clouds of gas. Others looked like living rocks. They were all different, but today they agreed on one thing. They would decide if humans lived or died. Above Marcus's head, big screens showed Earth burning. Cities on fire. People dying. The Velcrin Armada had already attacked 7 coastal cities as a warning. 3 million people were dead. The message was clear. Do what we say, or everyone dies. The council had talked for 6 hours while humans waited. Now they had an answer. High Chancellor Vormak stood up. He was tall and made of metal plates that moved when he talked. He lifted 3 of his 7 arms. Humanity is guilty. You broke 17 major laws. You made weapons we told you not to make. You learned too much too fast. And worst of all, you will not give up your military to us. Marcus stood very still. His face showed nothing. Behind him, the death count kept going up. 3,047. 3,051. 3,068. Here is your punishment, Vormak said. You must destroy all your weapons. You must get rid of all your spaceships. We will change your genes to make you less aggressive, and we will put control devices in all your major cities. He stopped talking for a moment. This is mercy. The Velcrin wanted to kill all of you. Ambassador Lyra of the Velcrin looked like a giant mantis made of sharp blades. She clicked her mouth parts. Humans are a disease. We have seen species like them before. Better to kill them now before they spread. Marcus finally moved. He reached into his jacket. Every weapon in the room immediately pointed at him. He pulled out a small metal disc and put it on the speaking stand. Is that a threat, human? Vormak asked. No, Chancellor, Marcus said quietly. It is a recorder. I want to make sure we save this moment. For history. He paused and something changed in his eyes. Something old and cold. I also want to make sure that what I am about to say is saved exactly as I say it. Everyone in the chamber stared at him. Even the translation computers seemed to wait. Marcus pressed the recorder. It made a soft sound. For 3 years we followed your rules. We smiled. We talked nicely. We bowed. We let you insult us. We let you threaten us. And now you attacked our cities and killed our people. His voice stayed calm, but the room felt colder. We did this because we believed in talking things out. We thought patience and staying calm showed we were civilized. He looked up at all 47 alien leaders. They suddenly understood what they were looking at. A predator that had stopped pretending to be prey. That was your mistake. You thought being polite meant we were weak. You thought being patient meant we were afraid. You thought holding back meant we could not fight. Marcus smiled, but it was not a friendly smile. You have no idea what you just did. But you are about to find out. The screen behind him changed. It showed something that made every council member lean forward. First, they looked confused. Then they looked scared. My real name is not just Marcus Webb. It is Commander Marcus Webb, Special Operations Division, United Earth Defense Force. For the past 3 years, I have not been your ambassador. I have been your scout. The council chamber exploded with noise. Aliens shouted and clicked and buzzed. But Marcus kept talking. His voice cut through all the sound. Let me tell you about human patience, he said. He showed new information on the screens. 3 years ago, when we first met you, our scientists looked at everything you showed us. Your weapons, your shields, your fast ships. Do you know what they learned? High Chancellor Vormak's metal plates started moving. He was upset. This means nothing, human. Your world burns as we speak. My world is fine, Chancellor. Those fires you see. Marcus pointed at the screen. Computer pictures. Very good fake pictures. We have been making movies for hundreds of years. We know how to fake a disaster. The burning cities disappeared. The code that made them showed up instead. Under the fake fire, the real cities were fine. The Velcrin Armada fired on empty buildings we made just for this. We knew this day would come. We have been ready for it since our 2nd week here. Ambassador Lyra jumped forward. Her blade arms reached out. Impossible! Our targeting systems are perfect. We hit your cities. You hit what we wanted you to hit. Every target, every shot, everything was controlled by us through your computers. Marcus showed blueprints that made the Velcrin ambassador freeze. These are your weapon systems, Ambassador. Every piece of code, every part. We have been inside your military computers for 2 years, 7 months, and 16 days. We let you fire because we needed to know if we missed anything. The room went completely silent. Now let me answer my earlier question, Marcus continued. What did our scientists learn about your technology? He waited. That you reached your peak 3,000 years ago. Your weapons, your ships, everything you have uses ideas we learned and left behind centuries before we left our solar system. Counselor Thex moved forward. Thex looked like a blob of jelly. Then why pretend? Why act weak? Because we are not monsters, Marcus said. Real emotion showed in his voice for the first time. Despite what you think, we do not enjoy war. We hope that if we were patient, if we followed your laws, if we showed we could be reasonable, maybe this could end peacefully. He looked at each council member. But you attacked our cities. You killed 3 million people who you thought were real. You judged our entire species without a fair trial. You gave us no mercy. And worst of all, his voice got harder. You did it because you were afraid. You knew we were learning too fast, getting too strong, so you decided to break us while you thought you still could. The recorder on the stand kept blinking. It was recording everything. Here is what happens next, Marcus said. In about 40 seconds, every Velcrin warship near Earth will lose power. Their reactors will not explode. We are not cruel. They will just stop working. The crews will have life support and emergency systems to get home safely. You are lying, Lyra hissed. Our systems are protected. Nothing can get in from outside. Marcus looked at his watch. 30 seconds. And you are right. They are protected from outside attacks. That is why we did not hack them from outside. He smiled again. We built the protection systems you installed 15 years ago. Very good money for a fake company based in the Andromeda Trade Hub. You have been flying with our code in your important systems for over 10 years. 15 seconds. No one breathed. 10, 9, 8. Alarms started ringing somewhere far away. 3, 2, 1. The screen split into 47 different views. Each one showed a Velcrin warship going dark. Thousands of ships. An entire army. All floating dead in space. As I said, Marcus noted calmly, life support works. They will drift for about 6 hours before automatic systems bring them home. Nobody dies. Unlike the 3 million you tried to murder. High Chancellor Vormax stood up slowly. This is war against the Council. No, Chancellor. This is a lesson. War is what happens next if you do not listen very carefully to what I am about to tell you. Emergency alarms went off all through the council chamber. Delegates ran around trying to check if what they saw was real. The Velcrin delegation stood frozen. Their powerful technology was gone in seconds. Marcus stayed at the speaking stand. He did not move despite all the chaos. I should introduce you to someone, he said. A new hologram appeared next to him. It showed a woman around 60 years old with gray hair. She wore a simple white coat. She looked like someone's grandmother, not like a threat. This is Dr. Patricia Okonkwo, Marcus announced. For the past 3 years, she has been living on Research Station Kepler 442. The council thinks she was studying atmospheric sciences. You even gave her money for her research. Thank you for that, by the way. The money was very helpful. Dr. Okonkwo smiled warmly at all the aliens. Hello, everyone. I want to explain something important. I am studying atmospheric sciences. Specifically, I am studying your atmospheric sciences. She showed a waterfall of data that made several council members move back in fear. This is the air composition of the Velcrin homeworld, humidity levels, pressure zones, wind patterns by season. I can tell you the exact chemicals in the air you breathe, the tiny organisms that float through your cities, even the pollen count on your capital's busiest streets. Ambassador Lyra's blade arms shook. That information is secret. Protected by council security. It is, Dr. Okonkwo agreed pleasantly. Or it was. But here is something about humans. We are very good at finding information. We have to be. We evolved on a planet that tried very hard to kill us for millions of years. We learned to study everything, to adapt, to understand our environment down to the smallest molecule. It is not evil. It is just how we survive. She expanded the display to show air data for every council species. I have complete environmental profiles for all 47 member civilizations. Temperature ranges, gas mixtures, bacterial ecosystems, everything. If I wanted to, I could design a disease for each of your worlds. It would be invisible until symptoms appeared. Highly contagious, perfectly adapted to your biology, and completely harmless to every other species. The weight of her words hit everyone hard. But I will not, she continued. Her grandmother's smile never changed, because that is not who we are. We are showing you this so you understand something important. While you were debating our fate, we were studying yours. Every council meeting, every diplomatic dinner, every cultural exchange was an intelligence operation. We know your worlds, your technologies, your military strength, and your weaknesses better than you know them yourselves. Counselor Thex moved forward, leaving a trail of worried slime. This is crazy. You are revealing your spy operations openly. You will be kicked out of all trade agreements, banned from civilized space. Marcus leaned forward. You still do not understand. We are not revealing all our operations. We are revealing some of our operations, the ones we do not mind you knowing about. A new figure appeared as a hologram. A young man, maybe 30 years old, with dark skin and smart eyes. He wore a merchant ship captain's uniform. This is Captain James Adeyemi, Marcus said. For 2 years, he has been running cargo ships through the Orion Spur. He carries farm supplies, boring work, long hours. He has been to 73 different ports. He made friends with dozens of species. He filed all the proper paperwork. Captain Adeyemi nodded respectfully to the council. I have also mapped every major trade route. I identified all military supply chains. I cataloged defensive installations across 12 sectors. The grain shipments you have been getting? Each container has quiet sensors that have been scanning your infrastructure every step of the way. You have been paying us to spy on you. Another hologram appeared. Then another. A teacher at a multi-species school. A medical researcher working on alien biology studies. A low-level worker processing visa applications. A mining supervisor on an asteroid. Dozens of humans appeared. All revealed their true purposes. All had been embedded in council space for years. We have 3,000 operatives across your territories, Marcus stated. Not soldiers. Scientists, engineers, teachers, merchants. Normal people living normal lives. But every single one has been gathering data, building relationships, and preparing for this exact moment. High Chancellor Vormak's metal plates clanked together. He was distressed. You have infiltrated our entire civilization. Yes, Marcus confirmed. But again, I want to say this clearly. We have not hurt anyone. We have not broken anything. We have not stolen anything you were not willing to share. We have just been watching, learning, and preparing, because we knew that eventually fear would be stronger than reason. We knew you would see us as a threat instead of potential friends. We knew that despite all our efforts at peace, it would come to this. The recorder continued blinking on the stand. So here we are, Marcus said. You tried to judge us. You tried to break us. You tried to kill millions of our people. And in response, we have shown you that we could have destroyed your entire civilization any time in the past 2 years. We have the knowledge. We have the ability. And now, thanks to your attack, we have the justification. He paused. He let everyone think about that, but we will not. Do you know why? The council waited. Because we meant what we said about not being monsters. We still believe in talking things out. We still want peace. But we will never, ever kneel to you again. The holographic displays shut down. Only Marcus stood at the podium now. The 47 delegates sat in shocked silence. The recorder blinked once, twice, 3 times before Marcus reached out and stopped it. This is being transmitted, he said softly, to every news network, every public forum, and every private communication channel across council space. In about 3 minutes, every citizen of every member world will know exactly what happened here. They will know their leaders tried to commit genocide. They will know their technological superiority was fake. They will know that their safety has been dependent on human restraint. High Chancellor Vormak's voice came out rough. You are destroying the council's authority. There will be panic, riots. Some governments will fall. Yes, Marcus agreed. And that is not our fault. That is yours. You built your authority on fear and keeping others down. You kept power by keeping others weak. Well, congratulations. You have just shown every developing civilization in the galaxy exactly what happens when they trust the Council's justice system. Ambassador Lyra, who had been silent since watching her armada fall, suddenly spoke. What do you want? Money? Territory? Resources? Tribute? Marcus looked at her with something like pity. We want you to leave us alone. That is all? Counselor Thex made confused, bubbling sounds. That is everything, Marcus corrected. We want to develop at our own pace, trade with whoever we choose, defend ourselves however we see fit. We want the Council to recognize Earth as an equal power with full independence, not as some child civilization that needs your guidance. He pulled up a document that appeared in front of every delegate. This is the New Terra Accords. It is a treaty that changes humanity's relationship with the Council. We are not leaving your organization. We actually think it serves a useful purpose. But we are demanding equal status. We want veto power on any law affecting Earth. And we want formal apologies from the Velcrin government for their attempted massacre. Apologies? Lyra's mouth parts clicked with anger. You hack our systems, embarrass our military, and demand we apologize. You fired first, Marcus reminded her. You tried to kill 3 million civilians. The fact that those civilians were fake does not change what you tried to do. You chose genocide as your opening move. So yes, Ambassador, you will apologize. Your government will apologize. And you will pay money for the mental pain inflicted on every human who believed their loved ones were dying. The chamber erupted in arguments. Some delegates called for Marcus's immediate arrest. Others demanded proof of the human claims. A few, the smarter ones, were already reading through the New Terra Accords with worried faces. Marcus waited patiently for the noise to quiet down. Let me address some of your concerns, he said once things were calmer. First, to those calling for my arrest. I am standing in the middle of a council chamber surrounded by your security forces. I just admitted to espionage and showed you secret human capabilities. Do you really think I would do that if I was not absolutely certain I could walk out of here safely? Right on cue, a new presence appeared in the chamber. Not as a hologram, physically real. 7 figures in powered armor suddenly became visible. Their stealth fields dropped. They stood in a protective formation around Marcus. Their weapon systems came online with mechanical sounds. Special Forces Team Delta, Marcus introduced casually. They have been here the entire time, along with Teams Alpha, Bravo, and Gamma positioned at key points throughout the station. Again, we are not trying to threaten you. We are just making sure everyone understands the new reality. One of the armored figures had red markings. She spoke in a woman's voice. Commander Webb, we are getting multiple targeting locks from station defense systems. I see them, Lieutenant Rivera. Please disable them. Already done, sir. Station systems are under our control. The Council's head of security was a being made of crystal named Praxis. He made a sound like breaking glass. Impossible. Our quantum defenses are 3 generations behind human military encryption, Lieutenant Rivera interrupted. We breached your network 11 hours ago. We have been waiting for permission to reveal ourselves. Marcus turned back to the Council. Which brings me to my second point. Everything I showed you today was revealed on purpose. We wanted you to know about our surveillance network, our technological advantages, and our military presence on this station. But we have also kept dozens of capabilities we have not shown you. Weapon systems you do not know about, ships you have never seen, technologies we have developed that would honestly terrify you if you understood them. He let that information sink in. We are showing you enough to make sure you take us seriously, but we are keeping enough hidden to make sure you never attack us again. You will spend the next 100 years wondering what else we can do, what other systems we have compromised, what other agents you have not identified. That uncertainty will protect us far better than any weapon. Counselor Thex moved forward slowly. You have made your point, Commander Webb. Humanity is dangerous. But you say you want peace. How can we trust you after this demonstration? Marcus's face softened a little. The same way we are trusting you right now. I am standing here vulnerable, surrounded by your forces. My team is outnumbered 10,000 to 1. If you wanted to, you could destroy this entire chamber and kill all of us. It would start a war that would devastate the galaxy, but you could do it. He spread his hands wide. Trust is a choice, Counselor. We are choosing to trust that you are smart enough to prefer living together over dying together. We are hoping you will make the same choice. But understand this. If you attack Earth again, if you threaten our people again, if you try to control us again, the next time, we will not be polite. We will not give warnings. We will just act. The New Terra Accords floated in front of each delegate. You have 72 hours to sign this treaty. After that, we will assume you have chosen conflict over cooperation, and we will respond accordingly. We will not fire the first shot, but we will fire the last. The next 48 hours broke the carefully maintained appearance of Council unity. Everything fell apart. Marcus remained on the Council station. He was now openly with his Special Forces team. They set up a temporary embassy in one of the diplomatic wings. Delegates began arriving almost immediately. Not for formal talks, but for quiet conversations away from recording devices. The first to arrive was Counselor Thex, the jelly being who had questioned Marcus earlier. Lieutenant Rivera showed them into a conference room where Marcus stood looking out at the stars. "Commander Webb," Thex said through their translation device. The words sounded sad. "I need to understand something. You have been preparing for this fight for 3 years. You put agents throughout our civilization. You broke into our most secure systems. All of this suggests you expected violence from us." Marcus turned from the window. "We did. Then why come here at all? Why not simply avoid contact with the Council?" "Because the galaxy is too small for isolation," Marcus replied. He pointed for Thex to settle onto a specially designed platform. "We tried that once, actually. In our first century of space exploration, we argued about whether to announce our presence or stay hidden. We decided to reach out because we believed that a community of civilizations would be better than struggling alone." He sat down across from Thex. "We were right about that. Your medical databases alone have saved millions of human lives. Your math models helped us solve problems that would have taken us centuries to figure out on our own. The Council, for all its problems, represents something valuable, the idea that different species can work together. But you did not trust us." "No," Marcus admitted, "because we studied your history. Every emerging civilization you have met follows the same pattern. They arrive eager and hopeful. The Council welcomes them. You share basic technologies and start trading. Everything seems wonderful. And then, when that species starts advancing too quickly, starts asking hard questions, starts demanding equality, the Council finds reasons to limit them. Sometimes with money, sometimes with politics, sometimes, as you tried with us, with force." Thex's jelly body rippled. "It might have been shame. The restriction protocols, yes, I voted for them, in fact. We told ourselves it was for everyone's safety, that some species simply were not ready for full independence. And maybe you were right," Marcus said quietly. "Some species probably do need time to develop. But the problem is that the Council never asks whether a species is ready. You simply decide they are not because admitting they are would mean sharing power. And power, Counselor, is something the Council has never voluntarily shared." "So what happens now?" Thex asked. "Your demonstration has terrified half the galaxy and inspired the other half. We are getting reports of 12 different emerging civilizations demanding similar independence agreements. 3 Council members are threatening to leave if we grant your demands. The Velcrin are calling for total war, though their military has made it clear they want nothing to do with fighting humans." Marcus allowed himself a small smile. "The Velcrin military is smarter than their politicians. This could be the end of the Council, or it could be the beginning of something better," Marcus said. "A council that actually serves its members instead of controlling them. One built on voluntary cooperation instead of forced compliance. You could be the organization you always claimed to be. And if we refuse, then you will spend the next few decades watching your authority fall apart anyway. We are not the only species that is tired of being treated like children. We are just the first one strong enough to say it out loud." While Marcus spoke with Thex, Lieutenant Rivera was dealing with an unexpected visitor. Ambassador Lyra of the Velcrin stood at the embassy entrance. Her blade arms were pulled back in a gesture of peace. "I need to speak with Commander Webb," Lyra said. Her clicks and sounds were translated into standard galactic common. "The commander is in a meeting," Rivera replied. Her powered armor made her tower over the insect diplomat. "I can schedule an appointment." "It cannot wait." Rivera studied the ambassador through her helmet's displays. Biosigns showed high stress but no lies. She made a decision. "Come with me. But understand, Ambassador, my orders about threats to the commander are very clear." "I am not here to threaten," Lyra said softly. I am here to surrender. That got Rivera's attention. She led Lyra to a smaller conference room and messaged Marcus. He arrived moments later. Counselor Thex followed curiously behind. Ambassador Lyra, Marcus said carefully. This is unexpected. I have been recalled, Lyra said. Her mouth parts clicked in what might have been resignation. My government has formally rejected my actions and requested my immediate return for trial. They are claiming I went beyond my authority in ordering the attack on Earth. Did you? Marcus asked. No, I followed clear orders from the Military Command Council. But they need someone to blame, and I am convenient. She looked at Marcus with her many-faceted eyes. I am not asking for your sympathy. I tried to kill your people. But I am asking for your testimony. My testimony? The Council is starting a war crimes tribunal. Not against your species, against mine. Against me specifically, but also against the command structure that ordered the attack. Lyra's translator carried bitter amusement. Apparently, the news that we tried to massacre civilians has made us somewhat unpopular across the galaxy. Marcus looked at Thex, who bubbled quietly. This is the fastest I have ever seen public opinion shift. Your broadcast reached about 98% of all connected devices in Council space. The response has been dramatic. I will testify, Marcus said. But I am going to tell the truth, Ambassador. You followed orders, but you also believed in those orders. You called us a plague. I did, Lyra said, and I was wrong. Not because you showed superior technology, but because I realized something while watching my armada go dark. You could have destroyed every ship, killed every crew member. You had the ability, the justification, and the surprise. But you did not. You could have made the Council watch as thousands of Velcrin died, just as you made us think we were watching millions of humans die. Her blade arms trembled. But you gave us life support, emergency systems, a way home. You valued our lives even after we tried to end yours. That is not the behavior of a plague species. That is the behavior of a civilization that is genuinely better than us. The room fell silent. I will testify, Marcus repeated, and I will tell them that while your actions were inexcusable, they were also predictable given the Council's culture of fear and control. If we are going to build something better, we need to understand how we got here. Lyra bowed her head. Thank you, Commander. That is more than I deserve. Maybe, Marcus said, but justice is not just about what people deserve. It is about what kind of future we want to build. 71 hours and 43 minutes after Marcus's deadline, the Council met again. The chamber was different now. Where before it had been a place of judgment, now it felt like a negotiation between equals. High Chancellor Vormak stood. His metal plates were arranged in a way that human cultural experts said meant regret. The Council has reviewed the new Terra Accords. We have also reviewed testimony from our security services, technology experts, and historical records. The conclusion is humbling. He made a gesture, and a holographic display showed decades of Council interventions in emerging civilizations, economic punishments, technology restrictions, military limitations. In some cases worse. Commander Webb was correct. We have repeatedly suppressed species that showed signs of surpassing Council technology. We told ourselves this was necessary for stability, for preventing conflicts, for protecting the galactic community. But in truth, we were protecting our own power. Counselor Thex moved forward. 42 of 47 Council members have voted to accept the new Terra Accords with small modifications. Earth is hereby recognized as a sovereign power with full independence and equal standing in all Council matters. Marcus stood from the human delegation section, but Vormak raised a hand. We are not finished. The Council has also voted to extend similar independence agreements to 17 other emerging civilizations previously classified under restriction protocols. Furthermore, we are creating the Development Rights Commission, which will include human representatives, to review our policies toward new contact species. You are restructuring the entire Council, Marcus observed. We are reforming the Council, Vormak corrected. You forced us to look at ourselves honestly, Commander Webb. What we saw was disturbing. We claim to be enlightened, but we have been operating on fear and prejudice. If the Council is to survive, if it is to truly represent its purpose, then it must change. Ambassador Lyra, now stripped of her military rank and waiting for trial, spoke from the gallery. The Velcrin government has also voted to accept the accords. We have begun internal reforms of our military command, structure, and have offered full payment to Earth for our attempted attack. Marcus nodded respectfully to her. Dr. Okonkwo's hologram appeared beside Marcus. I want to add something, if I may. We have been talking a lot about human capabilities, human surveillance, human preparations for conflict, but I want to say what we hope comes next. She pulled up new data streams, but these showed research proposals, cultural exchange programs, and joint exploration missions. We genuinely want to be part of this community. We have so much to learn from you, and we believe we have things to teach. The past 3 years of spying, that was defensive preparation. But we have also spent those 3 years planning for cooperation. We have thousands of research proposals ready, educational exchanges prepared, and technology sharing agreements written. We just needed to know we would not be punished for succeeding, Marcus added. We needed to know that if we reached our potential, you would not try to cut us down. Now we know we have to stay on guard, but we also know we can move forward. Captain Adeyemi's hologram appeared. I have been told I can reveal that the freight routes I have been running, they are already profitable. We are not taking charity. We are not asking for special treatment. We are just asking to compete fairly and be judged by our achievements rather than your fears. High Chancellor Vormak's plates shifted into a way that humans had learned meant resolve. Then let us begin this new era. Commander Webb, on behalf of the Galactic Council, I formally apologize for the attempted restriction of your species and the military attack on your world. We acknowledge that our actions were driven by fear rather than justice. We commit to treating Earth and humanity as equal partners in building a better galactic community. Marcus walked to the podium where, just 3 days earlier, he had placed his recorder and announced humanity's true capabilities. This time, he came in peace. On behalf of Earth and humanity, we accept your apology. We acknowledge that the methods we used to protect ourselves, while necessary, may have caused fear and uncertainty. We commit to being honest partners in the Council's reformation. He pulled out the same recorder and placed it on the podium. I am recording this too, not as a threat, but as a reminder. This is the day the Council chose growth over staying the same. The day fear gave way to cooperation. The day we all stopped pretending and started being honest with each other. The recorder blinked steadily. Let the galaxy witness. We are better together than apart. But we are only better together if we respect each other's independence, acknowledge each other's capabilities, and work as true equals. 47 species, thousands of worlds, and trillions of beings watched as High Chancellor Vormak extended one of his metal arms toward Marcus. The human grasped it in the traditional council gesture of agreement. Then let us build something worthy of all our children, Vormak said. A council not of the powerful over the weak, but of the many working together. Marcus smiled, and this time it reached his eyes. That is all we ever wanted. The chamber erupted in a different kind of noise now. Not fear or anger, but cautious hope. Delegates began talking among themselves. Some were worried. Some were excited. All of them knew that everything had changed. Lieutenant Rivera approached Marcus as the session broke up. Sir, we are getting reports from Earth. They want to know when you are coming home. Soon, Marcus said. But first we have work to do here. Treaties to finalize. Relationships to build. Trust to earn. Trust goes both ways, sir. Yes, it does, Lieutenant. Yes, it does. Over the next few hours, Marcus met with delegate after delegate. Some came to negotiate specific terms. Others came simply to understand what had happened. A few came to apologize privately for voting to restrict humanity. Each conversation was different, but they all had one thing in common. Everyone wanted to know what humans would do next. Marcus gave them all the same answer. We are going to keep being who we are. We will keep learning, keep growing, keep pushing boundaries, but we will do it as partners now, not as subordinates. And if anyone tries to stop us again, they will get the same response you saw today. It was not a threat. It was a promise. And everyone understood the difference. As the day wore on, Captain Adeyemi's hologram appeared again. Commander, I have been cleared to reveal something else. Those trade routes I have been running, We have been approached by 16 different species wanting to establish direct trade with Earth. They are bypassing the Council's central exchange entirely. Marcus raised an eyebrow. The Council allowed that? They did not have much choice. Once other species saw that Earth was being treated as an equal, they wanted the same access. The Council's monopoly on trade approval just ended. That is going to cause problems, Marcus observed. Yes, sir, but profitable problems. Thex appeared in the doorway. Commander Webb, might I have a word? Marcus nodded, and Rivera stepped outside with Adeyemi's hologram. I wanted to thank you, Thex said, not just for showing restraint, but for forcing this change. I have been a council member for 43 standard years. I have watched us become exactly what we claimed to oppose. A hierarchical power structure that maintained control through fear. You could have spoken up. I did, sometimes, but I was outvoted. The council likes stability more than it likes justice. Thex rippled thoughtfully. You have given us a chance to be better. I hope we take it. So do I, Counselor. So do I. 3 months passed. Marcus stood in the newly established human embassy on the council's central station. The walls were decorated with art from Earth, images of humanity's journey from caves to the stars, from primitive tools to quantum drives, from tribal warfare to interstellar diplomacy. Lieutenant Rivera entered with a data pad. Sir, we are getting interesting reports from our intelligence network. Oh? Marcus accepted the pad and looked through it. His eyebrows went up. 12 species have quietly approached us about helping them develop better security protocols. Apparently, our demonstration made everyone realize how vulnerable they are. They figure if we could infiltrate the council that thoroughly, we can teach them how to prevent someone else from doing the same to them. Marcus laughed. So we went from terrifying threat to security consultants in 3 months? And trade partners? And research collaborators? And, Rivera smiled. Believe it or not, Counselor Thex has requested human assistance in reforming Council intelligence services. They want us to test their systems. They want us to hack them officially? With permission and proper documentation this time? Marcus looked out the window at the huge station, at the ships from 100 worlds, at the galaxy that had finally accepted humanity not as subordinates or threats, but as equals. You know what the funny thing is, Lieutenant? We really did just want to be friends. But we had to scare them first to make them realize we were worth befriending. Diplomacy through demonstrated capability, Rivera said thoughtfully. Not exactly what they teach at the academy. No, Marcus agreed. But then again, we are humans. We have never done anything exactly the way anyone expected. He turned back to his desk, where the new Terra Accords sat in a place of honor. Beside it, his recorder. The door chimed. Dr. Okonkwo entered, looking tired but happy. Marcus, I just got approval for 14 joint research projects. 14! Species that would not even talk to us 3 months ago are now asking us to collaborate on everything from medical research to terraforming technologies. That is good news, Patricia. It is. But it is also a lot of work. We are going to need to bring in more scientists from Earth. More engineers. More teachers. She sat down heavily. We asked to be treated as equals. Now we have to prove we deserve it. We will, Marcus said confidently. We have been proving ourselves our entire existence. This is just the latest test. Captain Adeyemi appeared in holographic form. Commander, sorry to interrupt, but you need to see this. The Galactic News Network is running a special report. You should watch. Marcus activated the wall screen. A news anchor, a floating orb of light that communicated through color shifts, was speaking. 3 months ago, the galaxy watched as humanity revealed capabilities that shocked the Galactic Council. Today, we examine the aftermath of what historians are already calling the Revelation event. The changes have been dramatic and far-reaching. The screen showed images of protests on council member worlds, not against humans, but against their own governments. Citizens demanding to know why their leaders had tried to commit genocide, why they had lied about human capabilities, why they had maintained such strict control over emerging civilizations. 6 council members have seen government changes, not through violence but through democratic processes. Citizens are demanding more transparency, more accountability, and most surprisingly, more contact with younger civilizations. The screen shifted to show humans working alongside various alien species. Research labs, construction projects, educational exchanges. Humanity's integration into the galactic community has been swift. Human technology, previously feared, is now sought after. Human expertise in areas ranging from cybersecurity to agricultural science is in high demand. But perhaps most significantly, humanity has become a voice for other emerging civilizations seeking equal treatment. Marcus watched as the report showed him giving a speech at a council session. He was arguing for the rights of a newly contacted species called the Meridians, a species the council had classified for restriction. The Meridians are not children, his recorded image said. They are a civilization with their own history, their own achievements, and their own right to self-determination. If the council's reformation means anything, it means ending the assumption that older means wiser, that first means best, that powerful means right. The current Marcus smiled. He remembered that speech. He had spent 3 hours debating with traditionalist council members. In the end, the Meridians had been granted provisional autonomy. Not full independence yet, but a path to it. The news report continued. Not everyone is happy with these changes. Conservative factions within the council argue that humanity's methods were inappropriate and set a dangerous precedent, that other species might now resort to deception and threat displays to achieve their goals. An alien commentator appeared on screen. The humans cheated. They lied about their capabilities for 3 years. They embedded spies throughout our civilization. And now we are rewarding them with equal status? What message does this send? Another commentator, a different species, responded. That species who are tired of being oppressed will find ways to resist? That fear-based control eventually fails? I think those are good messages. Dr. Okonkwo turned off the screen. You have become quite the celebrity, Marcus. There are fan groups dedicated to you on 40 different worlds. They are calling you the Liberator. Marcus winced. I hate that. I am not anyone's liberator. I am just a man who got tired of being talked down to. Well, that man changed the galaxy, Rivera said. Whether you wanted to or not. A chime indicated another visitor. This time it was Ambassador Lyra. She looked different now, less rigid. Her blade arms moved more naturally, less aggressively. Commander Webb, she greeted. I wanted to inform you that my trial concluded today. And 3 years house arrest on my homeworld. My military rank is permanently revoked. I am banned from holding government positions. She paused. And I am required to teach a class on the ethics of warfare at our military academy, specifically focusing on the attempted attack on Earth. Marcus studied her. How do you feel about that? Grateful, Lyra said simply. My initial sentence was execution, but the tribunal considered your testimony, your statement that I was a product of a flawed system rather than uniquely evil. It saved my life. I told the truth, and the truth was more merciful than I deserved. Lyra looked at him directly. I want you to know something. Teaching that class, explaining to young Velcrin officers what I did wrong, it has been enlightening. Our military was built on assumptions of superiority. We believed we were the strongest, and therefore we were right. You proved we were neither. You are plenty strong, Marcus said. You just need to learn when to use that strength and when to show restraint. A lesson humanity seems to have mastered. Not mastered. We are still learning. Every day. Marcus gestured for her to sit. What will you do after your sentence is complete? I have been offered a position, a civilian position, working with the new Development Rights Commission, helping to create guidelines for first contact situations, ensuring that what happened to you never happens to another species. She made a sound that might have been a laugh. Ironic, is it not? The person who tried to destroy you now working to protect others from the same treatment. Not ironic, Marcus said. Appropriate. You understand the mistakes because you made them. That makes you perfect for the job. They talked for another hour, about the changes in the galaxy, about the challenges ahead, about the species still restricted by the Council and whether they could be freed. When Lyra left, Marcus stood alone in his office. Well, not entirely alone. Rivera was still there, as always, watching his back. "Long day, sir?" "Long 3 months, Lieutenant." "Think it will get easier?" Marcus looked out at the stars again, at the endless black filled with countless worlds, some allied with Earth now, some neutral, some still suspicious, all of them watching to see what humanity would do next. "No," he said honestly. "I think it will get harder. We have proven we are strong. Now we have to prove we are wise. That is always the harder test." "We will pass it," Rivera said confidently. "I hope so, because the galaxy is watching, and one mistake could undo everything we have built." But even as he said it, Marcus felt hope, real hope. Not the naive hope he had felt 3 years ago when they first arrived at the Council, but earned hope. The hope that comes from facing the worst and surviving, from being tested and not breaking. Humanity had shown its teeth. Now it was time to show its heart. The recorder on his desk blinked once. Marcus looked at it and smiled. He had made dozens of recordings since that first one. Speeches, negotiations, testimonies, each one a piece of history. He picked it up and pressed record. Personal log. "Commander Marcus Webb. Day 92 of the new era." He paused, thinking about what to say. "We did it. We scared them. We impressed them. We forced them to see us as equals. But now comes the real work. Living up to what we claim to be. Proving that our restraint was not a trick, but a choice. Showing the galaxy that humans are not just clever survivors, but builders of something better." He stopped the recording and set the device down. 3 years of careful planning. 3 years of patience. 3 hours of revelation. 3 months of consequence. And now the rest of their lives to prove it was all worth it. Marcus Webb, the man who had walked into the council chamber as a pretend ambassador and walked out as humanity's true representative, looked at the galaxy spread before him and felt ready for whatever came next. They had shown the council what humans looked like when politeness turned off. Now they would show the galaxy what humans looked like when hope turned on. And that, he thought, would be even more impressive.